take a look at this cute little block. Now, these are made from layer cakes, and I can't wait to show you if they're fun to cut, and they're so easy, and they make an amazing quilt. So let me show you. Let's get started right now. For this pattern, I'm going to be using 2 layer cakes. One is the Kona Cotton Solids White Color Story 10-inch squares. The other one is this beautiful layer cake that I got somewhere, probably at a quilt show. It's by Michael Miller Fabrics. It's called Magnolia. And I just fell in love with these soft, beautiful pieces that are so gorgeous. The colors are gorgeous. They kind of go from light and then they get into some darker tones, but I just thought it was so pretty. You know, I'm kind of a sucker for pretty fabric. So yeah, I'm going to be using this. Look at these magnolia flowers. Oh gosh, they're so pretty. Anyway, enough of the fondling of the fabric. But we're going to be pairing these up. Again, this is called Magnolia. And each of these layer cakes have 42 pieces in it. So to get started, we are going to pair up. I'm going to take a white and a regular, a print. And I'm pretty comfortable cutting 4 at a time. So I'm just going to take 2 prints and 2 whites and just layer them up together, just line them up. And this is going to be so easy to cut up. So we are going to start. So they're all 10 inches. I'm going to move these aside so I have room to spin my little rotary mat here. It's going to really help to have a mat that turns like this. I'll try to make sure I get this all in the camera space here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut 2 inches. All the cuts will be 2-inch cuts. So I'm going to start on the left hand side. I'm going to make a 2-inch cut and pull that aside. And then I'm going to spin my mat counterclockwise. And I'm going to make another 2-inch cut here. Just line it up, make your cut. Put that aside. And then I'm going to spin it clockwise again and make another 2-inch cut here. Like this. Move that a little bit to the side. Spin it again counterclockwise. And do this again. All cuts are 2 inches. And clockwise. Like this. So easy. One more counterclockwise, and my final 2-inch cut is here. And then I should have left a 4-inch square. So let's check. Yep, 4 inches that way and 4 inches that way. So there I've got my cuts. I should have probably put a print on top so you could see it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take every other round, I guess. So this is my first one, and I'm going to leave that there. And then this is the second round here. So I'm going to move the bottom one up. So the white is showing like this. And then this round here, I'm going to leave as is. And then the top round, I'll just bring the white again to the top like this. And on this one as well, like so. And this is how we're actually going to sew them together. So when we sew them together, it's going to be kind of like a half log cabin. So I'm going to sew this one to here, and then this one to here, and then this one here. I'm always going to line it up at the top here like this, because it's going to be a little shorter with the seam allowance. This one goes here, this one will go here, and this one will go here. Okay, and they will all fit. So I will have a piece that looks like that. Let me sew the first one together so you can see how it's going to look. And I'm just going to take this whole thing over to my sewing machine. It'll be so easy. Okay, so this is what my block looks like. Now you notice this is my 4-inch square that started with at the beginning, and then I sewed these on, and now I press everything to the dark side. So everything's pressed to the darker fabric, and that might be, you know, different for you. Now we're going to trim this. So how I'm going to trim it is I'm going to trim it to 8 inches. So right now it's about 8.5 inches, but I'm going to trim it to 8. So I am going to use this edge of my 4-inch square kind of as a guide. And I am going to, now I've got some pinked edges on here too, so what's helpful for me is to line up this seam right here. I am going to put my 8-inch line along the bottom of this 4-inch square like this, and I'm going to trim this side and the top like this. There we go. And then I'm going to turn it around like so. Let's see, turn it around like so. And now I can use my 8 inches along these two sides here. And I'm going to cut this off here and cut this off here. So there is my beautiful little kind of a half log cabin block. Now I like doing it this way because if there's any print in your fabric, you've got your strips cut exactly so that the pattern just kind of continues on to there like that. I really like that. Let me get the other 3 in this group sewn up, and maybe I'll show you how to sew them together, because if you're new, you might not really understand what just happened. So let me do that for you. All right, so I have brought my rotating cutting mat right to my sewing machine, and I'm ready to sew this together. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 4-inch block, and I don't want all these pinked edges on the outside. So I'm just going to flip that around so the pinked edges will be caught in the seam allowances, because I know that these edges are nice and straight because I've cut them straight. So I'm going to take my first piece and put it up here, and then I'm going to take the next piece, which is the smallest piece here, and I'm just going to sew that right to the top here like this, line it up. My pinked edges are annoying because on my white fabric, my pinked edges, the measurement, the correct measurement is in the valley of the peaks on the pinked edges, but in this printed fabric, the measurement is on the outside of the pinked edges, and that gets annoying, but as long as you know it, you can deal with that. So I'm just going to sew this on right like this, and I'm going to press everything to the darker fabric so it will be different on each block. So this first block starts with printed fabric, so it will get pressed to the dark side, but the next one will start with a white fabric, and that will also get printed to the dark side, which when we put these blocks together, everything will be able, all the seams will be able to nest really well. So let me press this real quick. All right, so there is my little block so far. Now I'm going to take the next one here, which is a white piece, and I'm just going to line that up right on the left side there. Now when you you have options here. I can either turn it this way and sew down here, or if I'm more comfortable, I can turn it over and sew this way. It's completely up to you. For me, I found it's best just to turn it this way and sew. Again, pressing to the darker side. Now, sometimes when you press to the darker side, it doesn't want to go because you've got this seam here, but trust me, it will work out best if you just press to that darker side. You don't want the shadows from the dark fabric to show through on the light here. So I've got two pieces on like that. These two are on, and I like to pull them close so I know which ones I've done. Next is this one here, and we are just going to sew that to the top of our block, and we just go around like that. It's so easy and fun. Quick press. Now you'll notice these are sticking out farther, and that's okay. We're going to trim the block. And that one's done. So I'm going to go with the next one here onto the side, lining it up nicely. There we go. All right, one more, two more, one, this top one here. So you're basically sewing it together exactly like you've cut it. We're just alternating the fabric. And then of course I ran out of bobbin thread, so let me replace my bobbin. All right, almost done. I've just got one more here. Now once you get the hang of this, you can chain piece these blocks together, so I can really make 4 blocks at a time by chain piecing everything, and it really makes pretty quick work of it all. And one more press. All right, so this block is now done and ready for the trim. And that is how you put together this block. Now, when we put these blocks together, there's so many options. So you can do matchy-matchy. So all of these are from the same fabric, or you can mix them up. So if I take these two with the white centers out and I put 2 other ones with the white centers in there, like this, that gives it oh, sorry for the table shaking. That gives it an entire new look. So you can mix these up however you want, but because of the way we've sewn these together, I should say because of the way we've pressed them together, everything to the dark side, you don't want to put, for example, you would not want to put all of the whites together like this so that they meet in the middle, because since we've pressed everything to the dark side, these seams around here won't nest. Okay, so that is kind of where I was going with that. I'm going to put these back like this. So, you know, you do have options. I think I'm going to mix them up. Oh, and then if you wanted to, you could completely mix it up. For example, I could put a whole another block here, and then let's see, and then another block here, and then I could mix these up as well. So I could take another one like this, so I can totally mix it up like that. So that gives it a whole different look, and I think it also looks very cool. So I'm gonna play around with these and throw these together up on my wall and kind of see which one is my favorite. So stay till the end, you'll see which one I chose, but I'd love to know in the comments which layout you like better. Let me know. Okay, so I've got all of my blocks up on the wall. I've arranged them so that the colors are pretty dispersed around. Now this was a layer cake with 42 pieces. So I ended up with 80 smaller blocks. Actually, I'm sorry, I ended up with 84 smaller blocks. So, I had a couple choices. So the way I have it laid out here, I have it 8 blocks across by 10 blocks down. That's only 80 blocks. But you can do it if you use all 84 blocks. You can have 7 across by 12 down. So that equals 84, 7 times 12. But here's the thing. When you do it that way, you don't get perfect squares. So you might start a row with a odd piece going the opposite way, if that makes sense. So the way I have it here, I have 4 big squares like this instead of 1 square starting like this, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. If you lay it out both ways, you'll see what I mean. Now the quilt I made before, which I will picture here, I still had 80 blocks, but I started it with kind of a half a block on each end. So it didn't change the look of it a lot, but I kind of like this way better. It really makes a nice optical illusion of the squares kind of being fractured. So I really like that. So what I did is I took out my extra 4 blocks and I chose the ones that were the lightest. So these are white and kind of a real light cream. So I took these out of the mix, and if I put these together like a 4-patch, it's the perfect size for like a little throw pillow. So I think that's what I'm going to do with that. So I have 80 blocks total here. Now, because I've pressed the seam allowances all towards the darker fabric, these are going to go together real nice. So let me get these sewn up and let's see what that looks like. All right, so this is everything sewn together. I'm really glad I matched things up the way that I did. I love it. I like how these two come together and then these two come together. I tried to sort out the colors and kind of spread them around so they look nice. I love the optical illusion. It kind of makes it look like this is the block here instead of the other way around. So I am really happy with this. I'm calling this square matrix because it just is kind of trippy when you look at it. It's pretty fun to do. Hey, thank you if you're a member. I really appreciate your support and it means so much to me. If you want to join our quilting community, it's called the Revelation Quilts Guild. It's on Facebook. You have to be on Facebook to join. And we look forward to seeing you. If you're interested in the size of this, let me measure it real quick so I can show you. So the quilt measures about 74 inches long by about 60 inches wide. And again, this is using 2 layer cakes, one in a background or a white like I did here, and then the other one were the prints. So I am super happy with this. I think it gives an awesome dimension and I love the way it turned out. So if you like the way it turned out, give it a shot. It's super fun. Thanks for watching, everybody, and have a fantastic sewing day.